What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 4 of the Stephen Browning's podcast. I'm Stephen Browning, alongside my father, Big Stephen Browning, a.k.a. the big guy, a.k.a. Dude. Today we got a special guest. Earl Reed's in the house, man. How you doing, Earl?
I'm good, man.
Good.
Happy to be here.
Glad to have you. I'll tell you what.
Side note, Earl, though, who is Earl Reed? What is he doing right now?
Oh, Earl Reed is the assistant...
Newly named.
Yeah, the newly named assistant women's basketball coach at West Virginia State University. Former Capital Cougar.
Yeah, man.
All-Stater.
Yeah, man. Back in the day.
Glad to have you.
Appreciate it.
Earl is our football expertise. He's our analyst expertise.
My man might be giving me a little too much credit, but I'm pretty good at it, I think. Just natural. I kind of just like to stay up on stuff, especially sports-wise. So
good. Well,
you know.
I'll tell you what I need to stay up on.
What?
My haircut. I got to get another one. It's been about 2 weeks and it's starting to grow out, so you know where I'm going to go?
Where are you going to?
Caleb with the Clippers. He's the nicest in Logan. I know I come on here and I say it every week, but that's because I stand by it. He's the nicest with the fades. He can do mullets. I tell you all the time, he can do anything you want. He makes my little brother Scotty look good, and that's a tough task.
And he's not lying about that.
That's a tough task. He can make anybody look good. We need to take Big Steve up there and get him right one day. Don't worry.
Can you get me a mullet?
Oh, he can get you a mullet. He can do whatever you need. He can get it for you. Caleb with the Clippers. He's the nicest barber in Logan County. Might even be the state.
I have to say about that, we did drive past his barbershop in Man.
We drove
past
his barbershop in Man today. So if you're ever in Man and you need a cut, go to Caleb with the Clippers. Or you can go online to Instagram, Facebook. His link will be in the bio. Anything you need, Caleb with the Clippers can get you right, man. I promise. Go see him. He'll hook you up. All right. Let's get into it, fellas.
Let's do it.
We are going to start. Actually, I kind of wanted to start with what you just said earlier about your little fishing story you had there.
Oh, yeah, I know it's not the typical thing, but it's crazy. Fishing tournament this weekend. I'm just watching on the internet, and I saw people are going nuts or screaming about throw somebody in jail, and I realized somebody's got caught cheating. How you cheat in fishing? You weigh it, you measure it, it's a length, it's the right length, you can only catch so many.
Right.
They're putting weights down the fish's mouth. Weights.
By any means necessary. But they live by the motto.
They're pulling out big round, look like steelies, pulling them out of there.
I tell you what that reminds me of. When I was at Fairmont State, we had to make weight every weekend. And I watched Trevor Andrews, Logan graduate.
Shout out to Trevor.
He would take these little weights and stuff them up under his shoes. So when he'd go weigh, he'd be about five extra pounds. One day he didn't get to take them out before practice and had to run around with weights in his shoes.
I bet his feet were killing him. That's a Andy Griffith story. Barney trying to make weight, got a big chain on. Do it.
Maybe that's where they got their inspiration.
Yeah, they might have, but
I feel like
I think there people were going to hang them.
There has to be some consequences for that because there's a lot of money on the line.
Well, there was actually screaming out about thousands of dollars. You bought that bass boat. You cheated on tournaments you won in the past. Been cheating, and they were screaming, "Go to jail! Take him to jail! Call the cops!" I thought, man, this is getting rough out here. Boy.
That's what we like to see. All right, now on to the good stuff. The NFL. Let's see. The first score that we have for you today. The Bengals got back. Well, they're back on track.
And it's the AFC Central or North is now 2-2 for everybody except for one, I think.
The Bengals won.
Steelers.
Yeah, they lost
27-15.
They've lost 3 straight now after beating the Bengals week 1. They're 1-3.
The Steelers are trash.
They're struggling to say the least.
Joe Burrow is back on track.
He's back there.
I know I said some wild things about him earlier, but he's back on track.
It's mainly because from what I've seen is the O-line's gotten a lot better. They're protecting him and he's not getting hit every other play. So if he has the time, they obviously have the weapons to score on anybody or to be in the game. So it seems like they've gotten their offensive line together and they got a rhythm going. So
well, they paid enough this summer trying to find him. After him taking him to the Super Bowl last year and not getting 6 and 7 sacks a game, still been doing it. So yeah, you knew it was only time for him.
It's the only time.
Yeah,
turn it around.
Absolutely.
Browns lost 20-23.
Only in the Browns fashion. Tip the ball, another guy catches it for a touchdown. That's the Browns fashion.
You can't make the stuff up that
Browns
you see with the Browns. You can't.
Browns
You can't.
No. We let a guy come in off of the practice squad and run 50 yards in the same
I don't
possession.
want to say his name incorrectly. I believe it's Ty Algier. He played at BYU last year. He played at Ball State, the other running back. I got to see his name.
Huntley
Huntley, exactly what his name was.
Yeah.
He played at Ball State, but the other one played at BYU. He was actually pretty good, but there's no way you should allow those guys to don't get many carries
the
or
day
reps.
before he was on the practice
right?
squad.
They don't get
It's
reps.
impressive.
That's
reps
the
or
Browns.
anything,
Browns
so.
are the Browns. They're always the Browns.
Earl is a Vikings fan, so he was happy after they beat the Saints
Purple people eaters,
28-25.
y'all. Purple people eaters. Let's go.
There was some fighting in the Reed house yesterday, wasn't
Purple
Oh, I
people
know there
eaters.
was.
But we watched it together. 9:30 in the morning. They played in London.
Yeah.
We watched it in Marcus's living room, and he wasn't the happiest.
Marcus Reed is his cousin.
He's my cousin.
He's the assistant basketball coach at West Virginia State.
Yeah.
There's some blood there.
So he's a Saints fan. I'm a Vikings fan. Obviously, the Minneapolis Miracle, which he doesn't like to speak on. We lived together in Huntington at that point in time.
So did we.
Yeah, that is facts. Steve as well.
Zero studying going on. I know zero studying.
Earl, what was your GPA in grad school?
3.99.
Well, maybe
He
Earl.
must have done.
Maybe
I
Earl
got
studied.
I got one.
Rest you guys.
I got one B in grad school, and I was sick about it. Still sick to this
All
day
right,
about that.
Moving on.
Cowboys have figured it out.
Yeah,
3-1.
with a Dakless team. Go on.
I think
Cooper
that's
Rush.
what's up.
Cooper Rush.
Commanders suck though.
Yeah, Commander.
Carson
Um,
Wentz not.
Seahawks-
What's that score? Is that
No,
that's Seahawks. Okay.
Seahawks won 48-45 over the Lions.
And
Incredible.
you got to
And
throw
he-
out your boy Geno Smith.
He's turned the clock back. He looks like he's at WU again with Stedman Bailey and Tavon Austin.
They
What
they
is-
wrote him off.
But
He didn't write
didn't
back.
write back. He did not. Absolutely.
So
he
if you
did not.
compare him and Russell, who's got the big contract,
But it's you can't really compare it at this point. Geno's he's got him.
statistically
He's beat,
speaking, he's way ahead of him.
He's got 70% completion percentage. He's over 1,000 yards. He has more touchdowns, less picks, and their weapons are comparable at this point. We got DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett,
Right.
and then Russell Wilson has Sutton and Judy. So
Yeah.
Athletics is about a few things. Confidence, one. Right fit for you.
Absolutely.
But you got to have somebody that believes in you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a coach that says you're my guy, or you're always looking over your shoulder for somebody else, you're not going to be real successful because you're going to be worried too much. You go in and you turn him loose. Maybe that's what Geno can do. A little,
That's yeah.
Are the
Maybe him being the backup for that little bit of time rejuvenated him too. He just needed to get back to his roots and figure it out. But he looks like he's back to the old Geno of college days and his first couple years or so in the league. So
How about
he's
Jared
doing well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't the Lions the highest scoring
team. Jared,
But
They're
they
1-3.
incredibly, which I did the math randomly yesterday, they've scored 140 points. And divided
Giving
by
up-
4 is 35 points
how
a
much
game.
they giving up?
They've given up 140 points, which is
Dead even.
35 points a
Dead
game.
even. What's their record?
Incredible.
They're
1-3. And if we're being honest, as
They should have won. They
as
should
a Vikings
have beat
fan,
the Vikings.
and I am very, very biased, they should have beat the
Should have
Vikings.
beat the Vikings.
Mm.
All right. Gave them a
Next.
free play there by kicking them by not punting the
Okay,
ball.
Absolutely.
We've talked about
Moving
it.
on.
So
Titans, Colts, 24-17. Big
Colts
Ryan,
have to be
Ryan Taylor said that he's a big Colts fan. He said they need to
Ryan
just
Taylor, Marshall, University,
fire
y'all.
the head coach and tank and play for picks.
Oh, it's too early.
If we're being honest, though, they have to be the biggest disappointment in the NFL so far. With the talent they had and bringing in Matt Ryan as an acquisition for the quarterback as an upgrade over Carson Wentz, but at this point, it doesn't look like it is.
Matty Ice ain't been the same since Brady did that.
They
to him
lost
in the
that
Super Bowl.
28-3
I'm
in
gonna
the
say
Super Bowl.
I expected a lot out of Denver. I really did. I expected
They're
Denver.
close. They're close, but
We're good.
they still found ways to win, even though they haven't impressed much.
Next, Bears 12, Giants 20. Does anybody care about this game?
That game is just, I mean,
Giants are what?
not
3-1, 3-1,
3-1, but they're
Giants
like
are 3-1.
one of the least talented teams in the NFL. I don't think it'll carry over, but Saquon Barkley is back,
He's back.
absolutely back.
31
It's
carries,
great to
146
see. Great to
yards.
see because he's such a great athlete. But the Bears, they got to help Justin Fields out.
They
They,
got
don't
to.
have absolutely no talent.
No.
They haven't surrounded him with anybody to help him out at all. So it sucks to see that he's struggling so bad, but I mean, he has to play
It
with
is
what he
what it
has.
is, yeah.
But It helps. I like it because he's in our
Right,
division. I'm okay with that. But as a general NFL fan and as a fan of the game, you want to see him do well.
Next, we got Jaguars 21, Eagles 29. Eagles are rolling.
They're rolling. Jalen Hurts has to be an early MVP favorite. He has to be the early MVP favorite at this point.
And some redemption for him. I know it's probably a tough call when you're the head coach and you bring a guy. The guy gets hurt and you bring in a replacement and he takes you to the national championship. You got them both coming back next year. What do? I know it's a tough call. However, Jalen Hurts has got to have some redemption. This has got to be.
And I think also moving on from college, him even being in the NFL, a lot of people were kind of writing him off early in his career in the NFL, saying like he can't win the big games or he can't make the big passes. He's somewhat of a running back. He's worked on his accuracy, his downfield throwing, all of that. He's a complete package.
You could tell he was going to do that. I feel like I can tell he can do it in college because he didn't get a chance and then he went and proved himself.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to the AFC North killers.
The Jets 24,
Incredible.
Steelers 20.
Oh, wow.
AFC North.
Why are they only beating the AFC? Why are the Jets only beating the AFC North?
Different
Different quarterbacks too.
At Cleveland and at Pittsburgh.
Tell him
very impressive.
Tell him your stat about the Pickett. What was it?
Kenny Pickett. So
he came in. They were cheering for him.
His first pass was an interception.
Yeah.
But the most incredible stat ever that I've seen, I don't know if it's ever been done before, his stat line was 10 for 13 for 120 yards. You're thinking like, yes, that's a pretty good start for him.
He only played half.
Only played about a half. Came in around the second quarter. 10 for 13 for 120 yards with 3 interceptions. So that means
no incomplete passes.
Means the so-called incomplete passes were interceptions.
Somebody caught all his passes.
Yeah, they caught.
Somebody caught all his
Which
passes.
I don't know if that's ever been done before. That's just a quick stat for y'all, but that's incredible. I do think he'll end up being a good player. I don't know how great he'll be. I think he'll be a good starting quarterback at some point in his career.
As long as if he goes to the NFC North.
You think so? You don't think you can stay? Oh well, that might be some bias there. But I think he'll eventually he'll develop and be a good player. But I think the decision they made yesterday was the right one because Trubisky he's not the guy.
All right, next. We got the Bills 23, Ravens 20.
Ravens have lost how many twice?
And
they've been
blew
blue twice. Did you see though? There's something interesting between Peters and Harbaugh. Peters was coming after him on the sideline.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what was said.
Yeah.
Don't know what that was about, but coming at him, you see them both jawing at each other. But yeah, they collapsed
And
again.
then also the biggest thing of the game is when they went for it on 4th and goal at the 3. Why are you not kicking the 3?
That may be what the whole thing's
and
about.
on top of it, a lot of people were not speaking on the play, but Lamar Jackson threw an interception there. If he throws an incompletion, they get the ball at the 3-yard line, and they have to go drive the field to get the field goal. If he throws the interception, you give them the ball at the 20, and now they got the field to work with. So all of that was obviously played a factor into the win or loss. But I mean,
blew another big 20-point lead.
They were up 20-3, I believe. So.
Chargers 34, Texans 24. Y'all care about that one?
Moving on.
Justin Herbert had 340 yards.
Justin Herbert is the real deal,
He is.
and he's banged up at this point too. Most of their team is they're all banged up at this point. So if they can get healthy, they have plenty of talent.
But
the Texans they've been bad for a while, and I don't think it's going to change no time soon.
Cardinals are back on the board, 26-16 over a win.
Okay.
Is that at
Baker's probably
play
getting
at
close
Carolina.
to being done.
No, he's bad. He's bad.
And then
I was a Baker Mayfield guy.
The head
and I
coach
can't
is about
defend him
done.
anymore.
They're both probably on their way.
You were talking all that Baker
Look, I
stuff.
love Baker.
I'm a big Baker
I love
guy.
him.
I was too, and I tried to defend him when he was in Cleveland. But at this point, it's not much I can say.
He's struggling.
I can't speak for him. Cardinals are still not very good talent wise.
I think if they play somebody good,
At this point, without DeAndre Hopkins, they don't have any talent outside. So
who's next?
Broncos lost to the Raiders 23-32.
Broncos are right there with the Colts for me as one of the most disappointing teams so far this year.
They are.
With the talent they have
Russell
on both
Wilson-
sides of the ball,
Russell
there's no way
Wilson-
they should be
How much did Russell get? How much did he get?
240 plus million, something like that.
Scotty, look that up. Look how
I
much
think he got
Russell Wilson
240.
got.
I think he got 2 for 1.
He's been the most disappointing player. In
maybe
my
there's no
mind.
incentive.
But I watched the couple games like Monday night and then this week against the Raiders, and they're just not in sync still. Him and the receivers are not. He's throwing go balls, and they're running in routes and curls.
You had all summer.
Absolutely. I'm not making an excuse for it. I'm just saying they're not on the same.
And we're game 5.
245.
That's what I thought it was
245 million.
245.
What kind of incentive do you have to get better at that point? It's like you can say something about Deshaun Watson. His is guaranteed.
Yeah.
What kind of incentive do you have to say, man, do I feel like getting up and really going at it today?
That's very true.
Would you?
But yeah, they're disappointing. Like I said, they have so much talent on both sides of the ball. They should be a lot better.
I got the Chiefs beating the Buccaneers 41-31.
I think that was obviously the most impressive. 2 of the best teams in the league. What the Chiefs did to Tampa Bay's defense, who is literally probably top 2 or 3 defenses in the league, was incredible.
He does that. He does.
Patrick Mahomes.
That's who he is.
Was slicing and dicing them guys.
You take his best weapon last year, or most exciting weapon,
explosive,
and it's gone.
Yeah,
and
it's like clockwork. Now they're obviously not as explosive, but they've adjusted and been able to drive the field and make plays.
He makes plays. He makes plays that it's like when I was back in middle school.
Football.
Yeah, when I was back in middle school and we'd go outside.
He's just drawing it up,
and I just run around and that's what he looks like.
He literally runs around. He's sidearming stuff. He's faking, running, jump passes.
He does it all.
Yeah,
they said the commentator on the game, after he made the spin move to the little floater, he shot a floater to a touchdown. Said he looks like the dad out in the yard playing against the kids who's just dominating, and all I could think about in my mind was him dominating us when me and Trent Dalton was running around and he was putting moves on us, stiff arming us. Yeah, that's what it's like.
That's dominating the dojo.
It does look like he's out there, like he sees the play before it's going to happen. He's playing against kids, like he's just far just ahead of everybody.
Last NFL game, we got the Patriots lost to the Packers 24-27.
Most exciting thing that happened. Most exciting thing is your boy is up to the center. Aaron Rodgers. Patriots look like they're confused, running around, and he's wanting the snap now, and they don't get it. He steps back and says, "Snap the ball," and you get it all over. It's all over TV.
Extremely loud. You can hear it as clear as possible.
Tony Romo says, "All right, guys, I guess you better snap it a little faster." Something to that effect.
Well, that game was impressive based on the Patriots and Bill Belichick being such a great coach, because it seemed like he had Rodgers' numbers for most of the game, probably through most of the third quarter or so, and then into the fourth, Rodgers obviously turned it up to
the all those level quarterbacks.
Right, and then also the chance to even go into overtime with your third string quarterback under center, and to take them that far is impressive. So
the Patriots cheated. They cheated.
I didn't see the play, so I can't really say
them cheating. They got a favorable.
It
no
call.
It ain't like
basically.
They were stealing signals.
Right.
No,
they got a favorable no call. Yeah, the rest didn't call it.
For everybody who didn't see what happened, it was a big play. They were in shotgun. Bam! Try and snap it. Play clock goes off. It took them 3 more seconds. The play clock flipped back to 40 and ticked down 2 more seconds. And then they snapped it and throw about a 30-yard touchdown.
That's the officials.
Refs should be fired and fined.
Something like that. I say fine for sure.
There should be a limit to how many.
Maybe like a 1 game unpaid or something like that. I would say
there needs to be just afterwards. They all sit down and critique, and maybe have something like. It on smartphones can do it, so smartwatches can do it. Have that on there where it buzzes, so you don't have to look away. The play clock's on your wrist, and so instead of you having to look to see the play clock, look to see if the ball is snapped, you just feel it. You know what? Didn't get on.
Right.
Maybe we should patent that.
Maybe you should. Well, all right. Look, we're gonna move on to the NCAA. You guys want to talk about the state of college football? I'd like to hear it.
I think the state of college football's down, especially in the Power 5.
I agree completely.
I think the group of 5 in some ways, is performing above.
I think at this
what
point they've cottoned up some.
And I'm surprised because of the NIL
Yeah,
stuff. But
right.
the NIL is going to really affect the upper, probably 10% of those teams. But
For sure.
I think the group of 5 is performing at a better level. Not that they're performing better,
Right.
but at a better level where they're supposed to be than what the Power 5 is. You look at the Sun Belt owns numerous victories over Power 5. Middle Tennessee, out of Conference USA, goes to Miami, who's
whoops up
supposed to be a feared place. You go in down there, you're going to get one.
Early in the season, they were ranked top 15 or so.
And then they played yesterday a conference game. UTSA hammers them. So I think college football right now.
Now, UTSA, even though they didn't win, they gave Texas a little run for their money for a little while in that game.
So the Big 12, Kansas is on top. Hadn't been that way in a long time. This far in the season, Kansas 5-0,
and they're top 15 in the country.
They struggled yesterday offensively, but defensively, that was the best game they've played in a long
Absolutely.
time.
So do y'all think there's anybody that sticks out, that stands out from the rest of them? That's like,
I mean,
usually you got
Alabama, Georgia.
Is Alabama?
I would
Alabama,
still say
Georgia.
Alabama.
Well,
With Bryce Young healthy, they're still above everybody.
Georgia.
Last couple weeks have struggled, but I still would take them above most teams.
I'm not sold on Michigan yet.
I'm not either.
Ohio State.
I say those 3 teams are a clear over top of everybody.
Out west, I don't see enough, but obviously USC's playing well, even though their quarterback did get squirted in the face with a water bottle.
That was hilarious.
Earl's a big USC fan.
USC guy, yeah, for
They were
sure.
talking trash to each other, man. And the defensive.
But I'm not at this
Tackle squirted him in
point.
the face.
Again, I'm a big USC guy. I'm not sold on this just yet. The defense played a good first couple weeks, but I'm not sold that they can consistently get stops. We're giving up way too many points to Stanford and Oregon State for me to feel comfortable. But they offensively, I think we could score just about on most teams outside of maybe Georgia and maybe Alabama.
If you go to the ACC,
I think
Syracuse is sitting on top of their part.
I think ACC
Topsy-turvy.
I think ACC is down.
That's upside down. That's upside down.
That's upside down.
You got
I really think
Who's the quarterback up there? Greg Paulus?
Yeah. You got Clemson on the other, but I think Wake really blew the game against Clemson.
I agree.
I think Wake may end up being the better team.
I can see
thought
that.
Pitt was for real, but then they go to Georgia Tech yesterday and get beat at Georgia Tech, or day before yesterday, and get beat.
And then you got NC State, who just got beat by Clemson. I think NC State's pretty good. They're solid defensively, especially. They're really good, but offensively, I think they're just very inconsistent. Clemson obviously is the best team in the ACC as of now. They have plenty of talent. Defensively, they're rock solid, but the DJ Uiagalelei, the quarterback, is
Miami's
very
bad.
inconsistent.
Florida State. It hasn't been Florida State, really.
But they have been
Since-
pretty good so far this year. They
since
lost
Bobby Bowden.
to Wake Forest, obviously, but they have been pretty good this year so far. They're 4-1. So
Jimbo comes in to Florida State,
yeah,
and it's not long before they're not Florida State anymore.
That's
And he goes to Texas A&M,
And-
and
It's not long.
well, they've been in and out a little bit. They
Yeah.
beat Bama once, in that,
the
but
last couple of years,
they're struggling right now. As a matter of fact, I think at this point in time, he got to fire his offensive coordinator.
which is
Him.
absolutely
Maintain his head coaching status, but fire himself as the offensive coordinator.
At this point, you're not, I don't think you're wrong because they're not putting up the points that he's supposed to be an offensive guru. And they're not. It's not working.
He's got too much on his
They
plate.
have to, and
Too
they have
much on
to
his
start finding. They have to find a quarterback. The Haynes King guy's not it. They got Max Johnson, who is Brad Johnson's son, who played for the Buccaneers, who won the Super Bowl. But he doesn't seem to be. He doesn't have what his dad had. So they got to find that guy again.
Well, they need to go back. Johnny quarterback's probably got some time
He
left
had
to
that,
play.
and then he had Kellen Mond for those couple of years. He was pretty solid. So he has to find that guy again for I feel like get back to their offense. But they're struggling.
Let's talk about.
Fake punch.
We can talk about the fake punt, but first I want to talk about Marshall. Marshall's they got back. All right, Gardner Webb's bad, but they got back on with a win.
They had to get back on
I think
track.
Gardner Webb might not even be a. They're what's that called? The other, not the FCS. It's below that with like
Swivick.
No. The FCS, there's several divisions.
Yeah,
it's Division One still, with bowl championship, subdivision.
They're in the Big South.
They're in the Big South.
In the Big South.
Okay, well then they are.
With Limestone, Coastal Carolina, Elon.
All right, so there, because Coastal Carolina's.
No.
Coastal's
They just play them. They just play
Coastal
them.
was in the Sun Belt.
Charleston Southern, Bryant, Campbell,
Yeah, see, those are not.
and Division One.
FBS. They're
Yeah.
FC. They're yeah.
Whatever
like
that new.
yeah.
What is that new?
But look. At the end of the day, Marshall had to win, and they won.
Yeah.
Henry Columbi.
I'm not giving them any pass on beating the team.
No.
Like okay,
No.
so the last 2 wins have been against who?
No. The last 2 wins have been against
Say
Gardner
it.
Webb and
Say it. Who was it?
who was the other team?
Oh, God, I forgot
Oh,
myself.
I got to look. Their last. So Gardner Webb and
Was that?
Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was because they lost. They lost to
Bowling Green,
Bowling
Troy.
Green. Yeah,
In Troy. Bowling
yeah.
Green, Troy.
Yeah.
Gardner Webb.
So they haven't won.
They beat Norfolk State, Notre Dame, and Gardner
Norfolk
Webb.
State is just no.
Does the
they're
Notre
one of the
Dame balance out?
worst teams in the country.
See, there it is again, though. You beat Notre Dame, who you think's got to be the worst team in the country now, and they go to North Carolina and whip North Carolina.
North Carolina was undefeated at that point and rolling on offense.
So what do you know, man?
You don't know anything.
But we do have to give some credit to the running back
Oh,
from
yeah.
LeBourne
Marshall.
Ultimatum.
Yeah.
They call him LeBourne Ultimatum.
Hey, that's a good one too. That's a good one too.
I call him LeBourne James, but it wasn't as good as LeBourne Ultimatum.
That's creative too. But at this point, he might be LeBourne James.
He's close.
He's
Two
yards away
yards.
from leading the nation in rushing.
Give him the ball.
Give him the ball.
Would he have this opportunity if?
That's the question. If Rasheen Ali's playing,
Who was didn't he win Player of the Year last year?
he was offensive
And
player
then
of the
some
year in the
issues
conference.
right before the season
Yeah,
started.
and then he got hurt. So he hasn't played yet this year. They
So what
saying
do
he
you do?
should be.
If he
He
comes
should
back-
be. He should be able to play this upcoming week. So we're going to see how if they split carries or how that's going to work
You-
out.
you
But you
can't-
have to find a way to get them both on the field and
And
play
you
together.
cannot take the ball out of LeBourne.
You
James.
got
No,
to
there's
hope-
no chance. Him and Ali are their two best athletes. They have to give them to the ball.
You got to hope he can catch it. They're gonna have to do
No,
the.
Ali can do it all. He's an NFL prospect for a reason.
They're gonna have to do the Chubb Hunt thing.
If
or
LeBourne
the,
hadn't have fumbled
or
through the end
the
zone,
Dylan
worst
Jones thing for the Packers.
worst call in the whole world is that fumble through the end zone.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Yeah,
But if he doesn't fumble through the end zone against Bowling Green, they win that ball.
that's so far early in this season. That's his only negative
He's
at this
fumbled
point is his
twice.
Ball
security
security.
of the ball. Yeah, so if he can secure the ball, but they have to get him and Ali on the field together. They
All right,
have to.
next, got one that's gonna hit you dear to your heart, big
Oh,
guy.
yeah. It wasn't even close.
West Virginia
It was
loses
like-
in dramatic
Somebody-
fashion.
Y'all,
Somebody
28-38 or 20 to 38.
I can't speak too much on Texas because I'm not a Texas guy. Marcus is a Texas guy, my cousin again.
We had Marcus
would be-
up here
yeah,
last week talking about it.
Yeah, so this would be his argument. I'm just going to chime in a little bit about it. I'm not going to speak too much of W because there's not much to talk about. They're a bad team. Bad team. So I'm going to let Big Steve handle this because he's the W guy. So
Look, it looked like Texas was playing. Maybe they were playing Sherman, the Sherman.
I'm God. I was not expecting that one.
They were running past
No,
I was
WVU's defensive backs.
I watched it and it was.
And look, I'm watching a guy go. A guy comes in motion. Looks like we're in man. There's a guy in the defensive side running with him, and he never gets to him. The guy's open for that little flare pass all night long, and they're picking up 10, 15 yards at it.
It wasn't contested catches. It wasn't really.
I don't know in the first half how many times they could have had a first down, but a ball dropped. Not like it was a tough catch or poorly thrown ball.
It was some
ball there,
just-
ball dropped.
Yeah.
So look,
Oopses right through the hands.
You're never gonna hear me screaming about fire a guy. It's his livelihood. He's got family.
I
He's got.
respect that.
You can't have that. However,
He's got to figure it out.
so either somebody's got to figure out these guys can't play at this level. They need to be playing at a different level. We're recruiting the wrong athletes.
Absolutely.
We're not getting athletes here that we once had when whoever in the past was recruiting the Florida area or the Tidewater area. We were getting athletes that could play with other teams.
Yeah.
We're not getting those guys, or maybe I just don't see them yet. Maybe they're going to get there, but it looked really bad in the day.
I still think Donaldson has a chance to be good. Did he get hurt?
He's hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
He definitely
He's
got
hurt.
So,
Long road for the Mountaineers. Texas A&M and Mississippi State. Texas A&M got the doors blew off. 42-24.
We got to fire the offensive coordinator.
who is Jimbo Fisher, as we already previously stated.
You know,
about that.
Yeah, man, that's
Kansas.
Still undefeated, but it was not a pretty win.
Not at all.
I thought that
Uncharacteristic of how
They
they've
could
been
not,
playing.
because their offense has been.
it was the
turning.
best their defense have played.
Yeah, absolutely. Holding them to 11 points was
Yeah,
super
14-11.
impressive. Yeah,
That blows my mind that Kansas is 5-0 and the best team in the Big 12. But
incredible.
Ohio State beats Rutgers 49-10, but that's
As-
not what we're here to talk
Yeah, as we expected.
Look, everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. Late hit out of bounds. Ugly scene.
about. So if you don't know what happened, they were up 49-10.
In the
Ohio
fourth
State
quarter.
was-
About 9:50 or so left in the game.
And the punter takes a snap and sees the sidelines open and just takes it and runs for the first down.
Takes
Steps
off.
out of bounds.
He's a good
and-
2 steps out of bounds.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he was alone
he's
and gets
clearly out of
crushed.
Yeah.
He likes it.
Look, I'm not necessarily saying that I like it, but I can't blame.
I don't blame him.
He wasn't the defensive back. He was the punt returner.
Right.
He probably was the guy that's catching the ball.
If
Right.
I'm the coach of
You're Greg Schiano.
yeah,
Of Rutgers.
I don't have
All
a
right,
problem.
so there was some words going between Day and Schiano right there, and both those guys have talked about it afterwards. And both of them are saying nothing between them personally. They love each other. They were just each protecting their kids.
Right.
That's how it's got to be.
Which, yeah, that's very
So
understandable.
they're over there. If I'm Greg Schiano, I'm going to take the guy by his arms. I'm going to say, look, out loud here in public,
Gotta
everybody's
say-
listening. I'm going, man, we can't do that.
Yeah.
In the locker room by himself, I'm going, I don't blame you.
Not
one bit.
Yeah.
If the kid couldn't got the punt off, if it's a bad snap,
Bobbled it.
That's
and
understandable,
they're coming
for
after
sure.
him, and he breaks out of there, all right. But he could have got the punt off.
Yeah.
Now he's also a kid. He saw the play open.
That's his one moment.
There's
That's his
one
big
chance.
moment.
Yeah.
He paid a price for it at the end. I guarantee he thinks about it the next time he gets ready to bust one down through there.
Unless he's like Pat McAfee, then he'll probably
Well,
just
he
do it
would
again.
if he was Pat McAfee, he would have got up right there, and there would have been something being thrown
Yeah,
right
no
there.
question about that.
But I don't necessarily that I like the play, but I don't blame the kid
Right.
for the play.
I think Ryan Day should definitely have said something to him though. Even when he came out and talked about it, like he loves Schiano, it's nothing against him, he's protecting his player. I think that is somewhat of crossing that line of the sportsmanship thing and the morals of the game.
Unwritten rules.
Yes, it's unsportsmanlike. Like you
You're
know
not
that,
going to
man.
rub it in.
Yeah,
a
like,
team that's
and I
beating.
get. Ohio State definitely doesn't need style points because everybody respects them. They're a powerhouse.
Every year,
so
no matter
they're going
who
to
you're
be
doing
in
it.
the top 3 or 4. They don't need extra points to get to the playoffs. So that's not what they need. Another touchdown is not going to help them get anywhere further than what they're going to get. So I think that line was crossed with that. So I think he should have been a bigger man about it and kind of came out, but like, look, that was the wrong play.
I
by
think
him.
what you see is
But it's like again, it's touchy because that kid is a kid and he's just trying to make a play too.
what
He's trying to-
was the final score?
49-10.
Okay, so what you saw there probably is Ohio State going,
Yeah,
we're shutting it down,
Finish.
Right,
pull it back,
Mm-hmm.
no more of this. We're going to go out there and hand the ball off,
right.
and we're going to get out of here.
Yeah.
I wish they would have had to punt again right after that.
Oh my God.
They probably had to punt somewhere.
It would have been a late hit on the
Yeah.
kicker, or
Yeah.
running into the kicker, something, because he might have got crushed again.
Any-
Who knows?
Any other games y'all want to talk about from this weekend?
Well, let me see. Just the one. Not even a game we'll talk about. I want to talk about the catch.
Ooh,
Liberty
we
University?
Definitely gotta talk about
Oh
that.
boy, yeah.
I think for
Yeah,
my
I know
money,
that.
that is as good a catch as I've seen.
Oh man,
I see a lot of guys that making these one-handed grabs. NFL guys do it regularly now. You're seeing it in college. You're seeing guys get toes down when it's almost unbelievable. Like they're almost like Mr. Incredible or something. Where they're who's at the
Oh.
stretches. You know,
Yeah,
they
that one.
stretch
Yeah.
around and getting
And
anywhere.
toe
No, and
But the-
just how effortless it seemed to be for him. Like
But
he
he
just
caught the
grabbed
ball
it
in a backhand
and
fashion.
it's the fender right there too on
It
top
was
of that.
over his head.
It's
Yeah,
right
that
here,
was
just kinda grabs
extremely
it.
impressive.
Now-
Extremely.
Maybe it's the gloves. They got to help.
Yeah, that's for sure. They have to. They have to.
You know,
I've
back
made
in the
that type
days
of
of
case without
Stallworth and Swan,
Yeah.
there weren't those things. You know, legally they had that
The stick 'em, right?
stick 'em they put on their sock and then rub down and get a little bit and let it get dry. Real
That's
good.
what you were playing with.
Yeah, it was bad. Well, I had leather helmets back when I played. Leather helmets and
No face mask? Only one bar?
across. We moved to one bar.
In a different note, here's how I knew that the WU game was bad. I go use the bathroom. It's getting ready to be halftime. I come back out. Third quarter started. I come in and I see you in here watching the Smithsonian Channel.
Look.
I walk in here and sit down beside him, and he's acting like West Virginia hadn't even played. He's throwing me out random facts about the volcano under Yellowstone Park.
A super volcano. One day it's going to erupt. What are we going to do about it?
I said, oh, W though.
And he's never run a WU's football program at this point.
Yeah.
They got to start somewhere.
Finish it off.
Yeah,
The
something.
Smithsonian's getting chosen. over there.
It's a couple games, other ones we probably could hit on. Kansas State, Texas Tech. Kansas State looks pretty good so far.
Last week, Texas Tech, 2 weeks ago, Texas Tech had a great big win.
Texas,
You thought they
yeah.
were a player.
And then they come back
down.
at
So,
Kansas State
yeah.
and give up almost 40 points.
Yeah.
Kansas State's quarterback is Adrian Martinez, who was formerly at Nebraska. He
Good
was
thing he left.
a big-time recruit. Everybody was hyping him up for years, and he never really reached his potential there. And now he's left and went to Kansas State, and he seems to has figured it out and got it together. He's a fifth-year guy. He's been running all over the place. He's had 100-yard games the last 2 weeks, I believe. The week before that, I think he had like 80 yards. So he's been rushing too, and he seems to have it together. He's on a good foot right now. So
What about Wisconsin?
oh man,
Look, they don't take no crap up there.
no,
He's fired already. He's been pretty successful.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it Christ?
yeah.
Gone.
Really?
Gone.
Oh yeah, he's gone. They got him out of there.
Yeah.
Gone.
Quick, right after the game the other day.
Yeah. He didn't get time to get to
I'll
the
tell you
car.
They lost to
He didn't have time.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois beat them 34-10.
He was walking
And
out the door.
Illinois is traditionally bad at football.
Yes.
Traditionally bad.
I don't feel too bad about him when they get fired. I go back to Coach O at LSU and what he said.
It's 14 million.
17 million. He goes, just tell me which door
Which
I'm going
door?
down.
Which door?
Yeah.
I'm sure he had a good buyout right
Hey, he
there
had
too.
to. And
Yeah.
I think that's the case there with W and Neil Brown. They owe him so much money. I think that's a lot
I
to have
think
to
the
do
number's
with they
like
don't want
20 million for
Yeah,
them.
they don't want to let him go
They
for
don't-
that. And
So they're gonna be in
And that's a little easier for LSU to pay than W.
And Wisconsin
Absolutely.
too is a big school.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
got they've got
Okay.
Yeah,
What about
we definitely got to talk about.
hold on, let's talk about
my bad.
Virginia Tech keeps getting whooped.
they're the worst team.
41 to
in the
10.
ACC.
And they have a West Virginia native as
Yeah.
their quarterback leading their team, Grant Wells.
And
He's struggling
struggling.
to say the least.
I'd like to see him turn around, but
Yeah,
I just
it'd be
don't.
nice to see, but at this point, it doesn't look like there's much.
Those
much hope
schools
for
that have moved on from legendary coaches
Frank
struggle
Beamer was
somewhat.
there, yeah.
It's an identity that they have, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
either somebody comes in and tries to continue that, or they try to change it all up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to go well. And I think it's just going to have to take time for them to move past the Beamer ball years,
Yeah.
and then maybe somebody
And
comes
also, to defend Grant Wells too much, Virginia Tech doesn't have the talent either.
They don't have a good
watched
running
them.
attack.
Yeah,
They
I
don't
watched them
have-
play, and they normally
Old
always have a
Dominion
good.
beat them.
Yeah.
Old Dominion beat them, and they're probably
West Virginia beat them.
Yeah, Old
But-
Dominion
yeah,
is
and
probably,
uh,
you know, what are they? Old Dominion's 2-2 or something like that, and
Yes.
they're not real good either, but they beat them.
Yeah,
So
and
you know
Virginia
that.
Tech, it doesn't like you said, like with the old coach, they had a way about them, like they were physical.
They had an identity.
They would punch you in the mouth, and right now it's the opposite. They're getting punched in the mouth. They're letting teams bring it to them. So they gotta find that guy.
They gonna find it this year.
I know, not this year, but they gotta start
Speaking
from
of
scratch
teams like that,
at some point.
Speaking of teams like that, West Virginia when Rich Rod left
Oh yeah,
hadn't been the same.
We had that. Okay, Bill Stewart took over. They won that big bowl game against
The
OU.
Orange Bowl. I
But they
believe.
won that.
Or was that Clemson?
They were talented.
No, that was Oklahoma.
That was Oklahoma.
Okay.
They were talented, but they band together
Yeah, for that game.
spite.
And then it came down.
Rich Rod.
They were competitive. Now Mimi doesn't like Holverson because of his hairdo. Although
That's a lot of people say that. my mom used to talk about his hair all the time, just flapping everywhere.
it's all
Like,
over
you
the
gotta
place.
keep a hat on.
It looks
man.
like Big Earn in the bowling movie where Bill Murray and Woody Harrelson was playing. He looks like Big Earn. Go look him up, Big Earn. Same hairdo. But it hasn't been the same since Rich Rod left as far as being in that chance to win something big. Win that conference every year.
I was gonna say since they left the Big East, honestly.
They've struggled. I think the
They've
highest
had
they
some
finished was
Geno
third.
years.
Yeah.
Second or third they finished in, but they were there. I think he was there. In the Big 12, second or third was the best they finished.
Right.
But mostly it's been 4, 5, 6, 7s in there. But
Yep,
man, I think 2011 or 12 was their first year, and maybe it wasn't. I think it's right.
I think you're right.
Yeah, Big 12.
I think that was
That's
the
different.
Geno era right there too.
And
That last year,
Big
too.
East had already lost. Miami is gone. Tech had already gone. Boston College had gone.
Yep.
So that was a big part of that league had already gone.
Louisville
Right.
too. Yeah.
Well,
Louisville.
look.
Yeah, Louisville.
Big East. Yeah.
Sorry, I hate to cut you off.
You good?
But what do you got?
I got two things to talk about.
What
It's not
about-
football?
We still got Oklahoma.
We got Oklahoma, but I want to talk about soccer matches.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
125 dead at a soccer match?
In Indonesia.
What is going on?
Crazy. Condolences
Madness.
to the family.
How
and
you
friends,
getting
though.
run over?
Condolences.
Stomped.
Yeah.
They're getting trampled.
Yeah.
125 people get killed.
And you know what they did? They put the league on pause for 1 week.
That's just a week.
You know, I know
all
that.
those lives. is
People's
crazy.
lives?
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That's how you,
man.
oh boy.
And then
that's
I want to give a
morality
shout
issue.
out to Logan High School's alumni band.
Oh boy. I know.
Earl, you don't know
I
nothing about
was
this,
gonna
Earl.
say, y'all got to fill me
Oh,
in.
boy.
Yeah.
We haven't
Yeah,
had
what's
a
going
band
on?
this year.
We didn't have a band.
And for years it's been
Not,
going down.
no band at all this year?
And for years it's been going down and down and down and down.
Uh-huh.
Before I was in when I was in high school, it was pretty big. But like a few years before that, I think they performed in the Macy's Day Parade in New York. They had 200 members or close to
real?
it. But
Oh,
now,
wow.
like last year, we had probably 10 or less in the band. This year, they had one person wanting to be in the band. The middle school doesn't have a program. The high school didn't have a program. It's homecoming, so I got to give them a little
So
credit.
what happened was they put together an alumni band, 100 strong.
And it wasn't just
And they
That's
marched
tough.
them through. They took up a whole section of the football field and were turned the whole game.
They did
That's
great.
And they did-
I got a little emotional.
I did too.
Got a little emotional.
I did too.
You know, here they come out there, you know. They were getting with it, man. I was like, yeah, this
You
is
got it.
football.
You got to
Yeah,
respect that.
this is
Yeah,
football,
you got
you
to
know?
respect that.
And they said they're coming back to the last home game Logan has.
Awesome.
And I talked to them, and we're gonna try and push for them to get.
We had some Kanawha Valley people in that didn't even go to Logan, that just responded to the call.
Really?
Said, we're
Yeah.
coming.
That's cool.
We're going to be
That's
there.
super-
It is.
We got it.
But we got to do something about that in high school. So the middle school needs to get a program.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it needs to feed to the high school, and there needs to be a band in that school.
And we need the alumni band to come to the basketball games.
Be nice.
That'd be huge.
All right, that's all my
All right.
shout outs. What you got? You got some
Well,
basketball?
now Earl, you can stay with us or not, but we're gonna talk a little local sports.
All right,
You
man.
can chime in with your Capital Cougars if you want to.
Well, that's not too much to chime in about at this point. I love my Cougars still, but whew, especially football. They're at the bottom of the totem pole.
It's
at
like
this point.
it's just like college. The teams that are used to be no, I can't say that because Martinsburg and
No, they're still there. Spring Valley.
Capital's just going. It's just
It's
bad.
bad.
this
South
year.
Charleston too.
South
It's
Charleston.
bad.
They lost half their team though.
Yeah, but
Well, they went with the coach too.
yeah, they all
and
left,
others,
so,
other places. But
yeah.
But let's talk about those Logan Wildcats.
got a big win. Probably could have scored a few more points. I think a couple times was stopped down there on the goal line, but puts them at 5-1 in a good place. I think obviously they're going to be favored at least at Liberty Raleigh, probably
Against Chapmanville.
against Chapmanville. Scott will be favored
But
this coming Friday.
probably be favored against Herbert Hoover.
But Herbert Hoover's 3-2 now. But they're getting Herbert Hoover's correcting things right now. So that's
They
the
won
last
3
game
in
of
a
the
row.
year. The best thing about that game is for Logan is coming off a bye week. So they'll have anybody injured, they'll have a chance to get them healed up. and they'll be able to scout and put
And
it
that's
in
what we got to talk about. The injury bugs hitting them.
Yeah, quarterbacks.
Coger.
I don't know how bad he's hurt. I think
I was at the practice today. I got a chance to talk to Gary, and I got a chance to talk to Coger. They both make it seem like he's going to play, but I'm telling you right now, he didn't look like he was moving.
Well, I can say
this is one of those things you've got to weigh. You got to weigh this into the whole season. You got to weigh it for the remainder of the year. All right. So let's say we go down there. I think if you give Drew Berry the reps this week, I think he will do a good job at the quarterback spot. He was thrown into it coming out of halftime.
Thrown into the fire.
And hadn't had any reps and didn't look comfortable. But I think if you give him a week at it, he's going to look better at that. But I think if that's the case, you're going to have to be able to use slack in more ways than just throwing him the ball. You got to be able to run him out of the backfield.
I didn't mind Gabe running the ball.
Gabe Workman ran it hard. Look, he was a hard kid to bring down.
And he made cuts. He
5'10" and a $145 or 50, but he comes at you.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit of heart to him.
He's got a lot about you. So yeah, I think you can hand the ball to him and also use that up back, use that blocking back. I think Connor Mullins is a strong kid. You don't expect him to break away for 30 or 40 yard runs,
but he can go get 3.
If you can get 3 or 4 yards and then move the ball, move the chains, take the next step, keep Scott off the field somewhat.
Scott's number 1 in this week's
number 1 in the state. So obviously, they're going to be a really good team to go down there and play. Now, what does that do for them? Maybe that puts a little pressure on them. Maybe that knows that we're going to play not to win we're going to play not to lose rather than playing to win.
Right.
However,
I tell you what, I will think hurt him. So, Brennan Goff, who has actually played pretty well on the line as of late, went down with a knee injury too.
Yeah.
And they think it's an ACL, but that's 2 of their starting linemen down.
Yeah, and fortunately, I think they got a little bit of depth there. They can move people around.
Look, now I'm not a football coach. Never claimed to be, but I think that you could put Connor Mullins down there on the line, and you can put Ryan Roberts down there on the line.
I think
those
two would be
physical and strong
on that.
I'm telling you,
animals on that.
And they're both.
I don't think Roberts doesn't play offense that I know of. You could definitely put him on that line, and you probably would find out that once he it's taking this whole week to learn the blocking schemes and everything, but I think. He's athletic, Ryan,
he's huge,
and he's strong. Same thing with Connor
and Bryce.
Yeah, you could put those boys there, and I think they could service that spot well enough.
They could.
So yeah, good things. They've got Scott, Chapmanville, Liberty, Raleigh next after that. But either way, that back half of that schedule is one team. You should go and you can say, okay, we're going to be able to win this ball game. Do what we got to do and get back home. The other 3, you're going to have to really, really prepare and play and do something to win.
One thing that I'm interested in seeing on Friday is how Coach Mullins goes about the game if Jackson Coger doesn't get to play. Because we know that he likes to throw the ball down the field. Is he gonna keep that same?
Or what if he's even
deep
struggling?
attack?
Or what if he looks like he says he's okay and he's out there, but you can see that
you
he's not okay.
cannot put him on the field
if he's
and
not.
risk him getting hurt.
I agree. I completely.
You can't put him on the risk of getting hurt. I think you'll see probably some Aiden Slack running.
I said I wouldn't be surprised if Aiden Slack was put in that quarterback spot a couple times.
Yeah, it's just because his ability to
go a little
RPO.
Watch the Wildcats go Wildcat.
He can go RPO.
He threw a touchdown this year, didn't he?
So
they're
5-1, right? And they're ranked 6th.
They need to finish.
I was gonna say, what do they need? How many wins
to
do
get
they
in?
need
Probably 7 to get in.
Guaranteed to get in.
But
probably 7.
They need to be 8-2.
You need to be up in that half where you finish up 10 or above.
Because if
10 play,
so basically you're saying even if they lose to Scott, they need to win the last 3.
They need to win. It would be really good if they win the last 3.
But they definitely need to win 2 out of the last 3.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think they got a good chance to do it.
Yeah.
If Coger is healthy, 100% good to go, I think they can beat Scott. They'll have to play a good game, and their defense will have to come to play because Scott's gonna. They've got weapons, and they're number 1 in the state for a reason. They're gonna have to come to play, and they're gonna have to be ready to make tackles. But I think that we have a lot of athletes out on the wings. That
we have good athletic positions now.
The wings
really need to spread the ball out to a lot of. Julius probably needs 5 or 6 catches, at least a ball game. But you need to spread that out more.
Garrett had 7 catches for 109 yards.
All right, that's a good number. You need to make sure that he's getting the ball that many times. You need to make sure that if Barry's not quarterbacking, if he's out there, that he's getting the ball so that they cannot double team Slack. If they know they're going to double him, somebody else is going to catch the ball, and we're going to move the chains so that they risk coming off of him. Yeah. He's your best deep ball threat. And then, you're probably Julius can take the ball. But you need to make sure that ball is spread out to everybody there, and even out of the backfield somewhat.
I've got to give another shout out to the Man-High Hillbillies.
They are
5-1, they're rolling. Only loss was to Logan the first game of the. Now listen, they have a guy named Jim Green. In the last 2 games, he's had 7 touchdowns. He's had 3 of over 50 yards. And I've seen them. They were not like he's just running by people. He's cutting, making moves.
Let me see that again.
That
you got that cut and making moves. You see that? I didn't know if he was going to karate chop.
Coming from a man who couldn't tackle me even with a bad back.
What?
Oh, wow.
All right, go ahead.
That's neither here nor there.
I've touched a nerve, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you did. In his back.
Yeah, in his back. Yeah. He can't even walk up the steps. They don't make them like they used to.
I've seen you walk up the steps.
All right, come on. What you got?
All right. But no, shout out to man. They're having a great season. I like to see our Logan County teams do well.
Absolutely.
And Logan Middle School, they're playing well. They got a big game coming up. They go 2-man. Man beat Chapmanville 18. I want to say 18-0.
I'm going to tell you, you're going to go up there and you're going to see Tootie Carter
hand the ball off
at his finest.
Mm-hmm.
Tootie Carter.
Tootie Carter?
That's the head coach's name.
Tootie Carter. He's a legend.
He's a legend. Yeah, he's a legend.
The offensive line will know what to do. They will block. They will move the football down the field, and they're going to tackle.
This is at Logan Middle?
This is man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man Middle, right?
Tootie was the football coach at Man High School when I was in high school, and every year their football program was like they were really ranked high in the state for a long time. He retired and came back doing the middle school thing. Been doing it for a while. He's probably getting close to retiring from that again. But anyway, yeah, you go to man to play, or they come to you, you can expect that team to be well coached and ready to play.
And that game will be live streamed on Mountain Dreams Media. Come watch us.
No broadcast.
No broadcast. We're just getting the feel for it this time, but it will be live streamed. So check it out on Mountain Dreams Media. You guys got anything you'd like to add? Earl, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Were you going to touch on OU and TCU?
Yeah, well, we might as well. OU is, wow, the last 2 weeks, man, just disappointing.
I'm hoping to see OU lose the rest of the way.
Look, I'm not an OU guy at all.
And Texas lose the rest of the way.
I'm completely fine with that, too. Shout out to Marcus again.
Yeah.
Keep losing, Texas. But, and the Saints, too. Hey, the Vikings got the Saints this past week again. Let's go, Purple People Eaters. But no, back to OU, though. The biggest thing with me for them is the new coaching staff, obviously, because Lincoln Riley left at USC. Offense is rolling there, which he's the offensive guy. Brent Venables, who they brought in from Clemson, defensive guru, defensive specialist from Clemson. Great defenses every year, and these last 2 weeks, Oklahoma's defense has not even showed up. They well stayed at home in the dorm room.
Halftime.
41 points to TCU.
41 at the half. The game's over.
55-24 final to TCU.
Get up and come to the house.
Shout out to TCU, who's playing very well, undefeated in the Big 12 as well. They're a surprise team so far, but that's inexcusable. You can't give up 55 points to TCU, no matter where you're playing at as Oklahoma Sooners. You can't do that. And like I said, with the coaching staff, that guy being your head coach, Venables, it's inexcusable.
I hope they go to the SEC, and the SEC so what? We got, who is these 2 teams we got to?
Caleb with the Clippers. He's the nicest in Logan. I know I come on here and I say it every week, but that's because I stand by it. He's the nicest with the fades. He can do mullets. I tell you all the time, he can do anything you want. He makes my little brother Scotty look good, and that's a tough task.
And he's not lying about that.
That's a
y'all.
tough
He's not lying
task.
about
He
that.
can make anybody look good. We need